Tanego, thank you for coming in today and interviewing with us today here at the Institute for Disease Research. I do have one final question.
Anything.
What is it? Why did you want this job?
I can answer that question. It has to do with my father. When he became ill, I think back and it made such an impression on me, and it changed the course of my life. You see, growing up, I was a bit of a rebel. I struggled in high school, I struggled in college, and I remember the disappointment on the part of my parents when I didn't pass the bar. See, at that point in my life, I could rarely pass a bar without going in. And then there was the fighting, the expectations. My parents, my mother, my father, they had different expectations and they never stopped in my head. I remember the night. It was late. They kept at me. Brown, Harvard, Cornell. I exploded. You're tearing me apart. My father, he was a rock. He instilled discipline in me. He was a role model. He was a competitive eater. Nathan's hot dogs. Coney Island. The memories, they're so positive. And then my father became ill. We took him to the hospital. We saw Dr. Nicholson. He was a tough dude. An ex-Marine, I think. My father was so brave. He looked him in the eye, said, "Doc, just tell me the truth." Dr. Nicholson looked right at him and said, "You can't handle the truth." He told us the prognosis wasn't good. We were shocked. The whole family was absolute shock. The doctor said, "You were warned." And then I remembered. Signs. Signs! Everywhere a sign! Breaking up the scenery. Breaking my mind. Do this. Don't do that. Can't you read the signs? In my dad's case, it was eat this, don't do that. Can't you read the signs? The prognosis wasn't good. But he told us, with fresh air and sunshine, maybe you'd have a chance. So we took Dad home. We lived on the ground floor of a tenement apartment in New York City. Fresh air and sunshine. We opened up the window. All we saw was a big wall. The stale smell. The darkness. Finally, I just wanted to explode. I had had enough. I went to our landlord, Mr. G. I screamed, "Mr. off, tear down that wall. Still it remained. Then my uncle intervened. My Uncle Vito. He made him an offer he couldn't refuse. The wall came down. But Dad still needed so much care. He had his nurse, Estelle. She was wonderful. They had a special relationship, Dad and Estelle. All hours of the night, I could still hear Dad calling, "Stella!" And she'd be there. You know, it seemed at that point nothing comforted Dad like Stella and Baby. Baby. His 4-year-old Chihuahua. Slept with him 24 hours a day. I remember when one of the new caregivers came and Dad was asleep. She shooed Baby out of bed. Put her off in the corner. Dad woke up, called me over. Nobody puts Baby in the corner. But things got better. The experimental treatments, things were looking up. We had hope. There was the day Dad got out of bed and took a step. Could this be one small step for man? No. The joy was short-lived, and Dad soon passed. It was then that I committed that I would avenge my father's death. My mother, so disappointed. It's when I told her I would forego the seminary. My mother, Mary, came to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. No! That's when I decided I would commit my life to science. To disease, I say. Hello? My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die! And that's why I got the job.